You're listening to the Inspire Excellence podcast, recorded at the BVA headquarters with your hosts, Troy McClain and Tommy Alquist. Each episode is focused on shedding new light on different perspectives to create dialogue that inspires excellence.
Here we are. It's the New Year's. We are now January 2020. Welcome to Idaho's Inspire Excellence with Tommy Alquist and myself, Troy McClain. We got some really cool cats in here. We're going to learn how to fly like eagles and not like turkeys because we're running with the twins right now. Tommy, why don't you introduce the twins?
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty cool story today. So Inspire Excellence, we look for stories that inspire, and none inspired me more than these two guys. So we've got Blake and Tyler Nelson, who just finished earning all the merit badges. That's right, 137 merit badges. I first met these guys a couple years ago, and they told me they were going to do it. And my first comment back was, really? Do you know how hard that is? Do you really want to do that? And then we were able to help them a little teeny bit with surveying, I think. Maybe a couple, but they're done now. It's a big deal. Only about 400 and something. Do you guys know the exact number?
450 now.
450 have ever done it in the history of scouting. And these guys did it. And so congratulations, Blake and Tyler. Welcome to the show.
That is pretty amazing, you guys. You guys also know you're in a room with another guy that's done that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of the odd duck out. Thanks. Here, let me just do this.
Troy, we probably won't even ask you about like Cub Scouts or
don't even ask me. I'll just have to lower my chair.
Okay.
You guys are above me now. This happens.
It's all right. We'll make you an honorary Eagle here.
Thank you.
So guys, let's get started. This is a hard thing. For those of you that are listening, a lot of people listen to our podcast. To get your Eagle Scout Award, you need 21 merit badges. It's hard. For me in my life, being an Eagle Scout wasn't an option. It was just like, that's what you did. You just get your Eagle so that you can use it later in life. And then after you get your Eagle, you can get palms. Mm-hmm. And for every 7 merit badges after your Eagle, you get a palm. And so a lot of people will get 30 or 40 merit badges. But then these guys decided to do all of them. So tell us a little bit about that decision to do it all.
Yeah. So it's actually kind of a funny story because our dad, his dad, so our grandpa, encouraged him to get all the merit badges. And he told him that he would buy him a car if he earned all of the merit badges. And our dad told us that story back when we turned 11 and entered the scouting program. And we thought that would be awesome to get a car.
Yeah. I think that's awesome too, just so you know.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we're not getting a car. But, 4 years later...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Time out. I think by the end of the show,
you're getting a car.
Your mother Lindsay's here. There's no car at the end of this?
That wasn't the deal.
They already they knew they were on a podcast. Ed Mark, are you listening?
I'm really glad you brought that up right away. Right away.
Yeah.
So what do you guys get? So you set out because why did you guys go out and do all of them?
Well, we weren't really doing anything at the time. I mean, just kind of living life. And we thought it'd be really cool. We learned how many kids had done it, and it'd be really cool to go do it.
Yeah.
And once we started doing them, it was just like, we just realized how cool it would be to go explore all these different fields and professions and like learn about all of them. And then also to do that.
How long? How long did that take you guys?
4 years.
Yeah.
How long did it take you, Tom?
About 4 years. It's grueling. And again, we had 121 when I did it. I can't wait to ask you a few of the questions that I would ask because I did it, which was, what was your hardest one?
Oh, definitely bugling.
Bugling for me too. You got to learn how to bugle multiple songs,
yes.
and you about drive your family crazy, right, Mom?
It's not music.
But where's the bugling? Like, why that badge?
It's a bugling. You don't get to choose the merit badges, Troy.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose?
No,
them?
when you get them all, there's a bugling merit badge.
But there had to be some origins to bugling and why that was valuable to the
scouting
scouts.
It's a scouting thing.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different signals for
different things.
Yeah, different things at camps and things like that.
Do you think you could beat Tommy in bugling right now?
Absolutely. Because it's been way too long. It's been way too long. Bugling's hard. What was your most enjoyable?
Oh.
I think archaeology was actually really cool. We hooked up with an archaeologist and we went out and saw this crashed It was B-42 bomber.
That's legit.
And it was sweet. Me and Blake thought we found it. We were like in front. We were like screaming. And then we realized
Hey, check this out. Call the news.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like a car. We accomplished it.
Hey, you didn't get a car, but you found a plane.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just a 1942 bomber.
Yeah.
Or sorry. It was made in like 1940.
43,
Yeah,
that's what
43.
the tag
Crashed in
said.
44. Just one of those B-20s, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Bombers. It
Here
was
in
so
Idaho,
cool.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Right by the
Mountain home.
Mountain Home
They
Air
just had a
Base.
couple. They trained a whole bunch of people there, so
Yeah.
there was just crashes bound to happen.
So the hardest one was bugling. The funnest one was archaeology
That or scuba. Yeah.
or scuba. What was the
Yeah.
most rewarding one?
Oh, that's a tough
Oh,
one.
that's a good question.
Probably bugling was rewarding
that
because it was so
satisfaction
hard.
was-
Yeah,
was
so there's a lot
great.
of satisfaction from that one.
Do they still have handicap awareness?
Yes.
Yes.
So let me tell you. So this was so for me, that was an easy answer. I had to get handicap awareness, and I can't remember the exact time frame, but you have to go volunteer for a period of time. I can't remember what it is somewhere. And I got to go volunteer at a nursing home that was by my house.
Yeah.
And I made friends with a resident there. Her name was Queenie. That was her nickname.
Oh, that's
And she was an
cool.
older gal that had some developmental delays throughout her life. And she was there at this nursing home. And we really became friends. Even years after I finished getting all my merit badges, we would go back and drop off gifts and actually stayed friends with her until she passed away. So for me, handicap awareness was a big one.
That's cool.
I've never really compared the list, but when I did, it was 121. Now there's 16 more than that. At what point did you know how many there were, and what are some of the new ones?
We kind of figured out. So when we looked at the list of all the people that had earned the merit badges, we also went and looked at how many there were. And that's when we figured out there was 137. Though back when we were 11, there was only 136. Exploration came out in I think 2017,
Okay.
and that was actually a really cool one as well.
Yeah.
So that's a new one.
I know they're adding 3 more. I'm not sure when, but one of them is
Advanced computer.
advanced computer.
Yeah.
And just like they just kind of fit with the new technologies and
Yeah.
new stuff coming out, and they remove old ones. Like corn something was one of the ones they took
Yeah.
out.
So did you guys work together as a team because you're twins, or did you compete with each other? Because I see a smirk on this dude's face. I can already tell you right now.
Yeah.
This one right here, man, him and I can jive together. I can already figure it out because you can just see he's like, man.
Troy's going to offer you a job before the end of this at one of his companies. He's going to say that guy's going to work for me.
It's gonna work. I wanna work for him. So was it competition or was it working together as a team or a combination of both?
Well, we started out as a team,
Yeah.
and then we planned
he
them all
said,
out. Yeah,
yeah.
we were like, we did this. We're like, we're gonna do this many a week, and then he went and earned one without me, and I was kind
Whoa.
That set the tone, bro.
I did set the tone.
Come on, T. That set the tone.
I mean, Tyler wasn't willing to make the sacrifice at scout camp.
Yeah.
but you got him across the finish line. And in all
Yeah.
seriousness,
We finished
Did-
together. We finished together.
Did one of you drag the other one across the finish line?
I think at certain points it was like one of us would drag the other, and then it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
switch, because sometimes
Yeah.
some of the badges are really boring.
yeah.
Yeah.
Insanely
they're
boring.
brutal, right? So I had I've never talked to you about this. So I grew up right next to my uncle, Josh, who he was a year younger than me. So he was my grandpa's youngest son, year younger
Okay.
than me. And we were just like twins, but it was like that. Cause you know, there's a couple P's that enter your life when you're a young man that just really get in the way of scouting: petroleum and perfume,
Yes.
right? As you get older, this sounds super fun. And then you get a little bit older and it's like, man, do we really want to do this?
Yeah.
So by the end of it, I know with Josh, we were kind of like, hey, you know, once we got 100 and then 110, it's like, we can't quit now. We got to finish this. But and there are some that are boring, right? Some of these are written years ago. And so
Yeah.
you don't get to challenge the requirements. You just have to live by those requirements and figure
Yeah.
out how to do it. And you got to be really committed.
But what fantastic. You guys have proven even, Tommy, him and I are both old as dirt. So, but you guys are 15. They've proven commitment, drive through, and compassion with competition. Because I can see you love the heck out of each other. Well, there's a little competition, and so
Yeah.
that still survives today.
Let me ask you a couple other questions. One of my loves for scouting is because as a young man, and it was partially the merit badges, but also just the program, you got to go out and see what God has created for us. And I think scouting instilled in me as a young boy reverence for God, reverence for the outdoors, reverence for country, patriotism. So when I think of who I am today, most of what I'm made up from has been from learning through scouting. So tell me a little bit about that part of it to you. Is do you have those similar feelings with what it taught you about, one, your country, two, your Heavenly Father, and three, just what it means to be an American?
Yeah. So one merit badge that we did was nuclear science, and that one just blew our minds. I mean, just how just how intricate and complex even some of the smallest things that are out there are. And so that was definitely one that was really cool for me to know, that God truly did create this stuff, and so that was a cool one for me.
Yeah.
There is American Heritage, and that's a cool one for just America and learning about people that went before, and just those cool Revolutionary War leaders in America's history.
Awesome.
I think backpacking was the coolest one for me. I mean, we were we went on a 50 miler.
My guy.
With into the Sawtooths with some with another troop. Yeah, and just being in the Sawtooths and being up there, it was just so beautiful. Like then and there, it's just like there has to be a God. I mean, it was just so cool and so intricate, and how everything was perfectly worked together, and it was just amazing.
But like Tommy says, that's the reverence.
Yeah, reverence.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because when I did it, we didn't have cell phones. You notice
Right.
times were more quiet, right? So you had more time to experience, the beauty of God's world for us. Nowadays, you guys live in this environment where you probably don't ever remember not having cell phones and technology all around you.
Born with one in their hand.
Yeah. Is it even more important? Is it even more important, do you think, that youth get out and understand beauty? What would be your opinion on that?
Absolutely. I would
Yeah.
totally agree with that. I have a lot of friends that don't go camping, and they don't spend a lot of time outdoors.
Yeah.
They're, just doing things indoors, and which isn't entirely bad, but I think going outside and getting an appreciation for the beauty and getting another perspective on the world and just seeing the world is a great thing to do.
Yeah. That's a lot of wisdom. But also, it's just as guys, it's just cool to be outside.
It's just cool.
Yeah.
Right? It's cool. Like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think,
go ahead.
I think living outside your phone, I think, is what we try
Yeah.
and do. I just think that, I mean, if we I think it's good to get outside, go see the outdoors, go do things, don't spend all your time on your phone. I think that's what we've kind of adopted as our philosophy.
It's awesome.
If you were to give advice to anyone that you guys have learned over the 136 merit badges,
137.
137.
Do not
I'm
shortchange
not-
it.
I'm not-
I understand. Listen, you can't drop one off, especially when you're trying to earn a car.
I just want to take it away so I can earn it. I'm going to get an honorary one row. Stop laughing at me. I'm on your side. So what would be the one thing that you guys would say? What would your takeaway? You say, here's the biggest thing you learn. And I say things like beyond the obvious. Sure, you can get 137, which is nearly impossible to do. But if I look beyond the obvious, and those that are watching and listening, what's the biggest takeaway that you guys would say by doing this, being committed to the Scouts, being committed to a mission, a vision, and purpose? This is what we learned beyond that. B&T, you're up.
I think we've been the way we look at it, we've been climbing this mountain for 4 years now, and it's not without hard work and dedication that we've gotten to the top of it. And I think it shows us that we can do hard things if we put in the hard work and the things necessary to do that. And so we can take that further into our lives, and apply it to other things. I mean, whether it be college or schooling or work or a job, or I think that if you work hard enough and you have enough diligence in that, you can reach the top and achieve your goal.
So when can we interview you for a job? Who's your agent? You want me to talk to your mom? I will negotiate salary right now. What kind of car do you want? Let's make this happen.
Let's make it happen. I got one other thing to add to that. Really personal story, but I came home. I went on a mission to Brazil and came home, and I wanted to be a doctor. And back then, getting into medical school was hard. And I didn't know anybody that was a doctor, like literally anybody. So I was super nervous. I got a job at the hospital. I started doing everything I needed to do, but it was time to apply. And I didn't have any money. So I was poor enough that I thought, man, if I don't get into the University of Utah, I probably won't be able to afford to go to school. So I thought, I got to get in. But it was so hard. The odds were really hard. And I thought, I don't know anybody. So I go into my interview for medical school, just sweating bricks, thinking, man, I hope this thing can work out for me. I walk in and I sit down. This guy sits down with me. He's like, okay, here's your first question. I looked on your resume and I saw that you were an Eagle Scout and you got 121 merit badges. Tell me about that. And 1 hour later, I walk out of my interview, never talked about anything but merit badges and got into medical school.
No.
And I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't see that coming, but what a blessing that was in my life. Flash forward now to residency. And I really wanted to go to the University of Arizona to residency. I interviewed with Sam Keim, who was the residency director. Super nervous for the match and the way the whole thing goes. I walk in, I sit down, and it was almost like you could push rewind and play. He's like, you got every merit badge? And we start talking about merit badges. So I do think what you just said, I mean, it is climbing a mountain, but anyone that knows scouting and knows what you just did, to me, it's almost like a stamp on your application of, hey, these guys know a lot of things and they figured it out, but they understand how to do hard things. They understand the value of our country and God and everything else. It speaks
perseverance.
And perseverance.
They showed they can drive. You never aim at the target. You aim through it. And these boys have proved, man, just go through it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Troy?
I just want to tell you guys that I think a car is coming. Talk to Uncle Tommy. I don't want to put him on the spot. We're live on Pete podcast. But I just got to tell you, Tommy, for me personally, thank you for encouraging and inviting these two young men here. You guys, thank you for showing us how to fly like eagles. When a lot of times we're surrounding ourselves with a bunch of turkeys, right? And so you guys are doing fantastic work, and you're doing fantastic God's work out there. And thank you for inspiring excellence throughout the state of Idaho.
Wait, one more thing. We'll leave the last word with you. If you have any advice for any young kids out there that are going through life and try whatever their thing may be, it may be scouting or something else, but how would you encourage the youth of today in their lives? I
would say, just keep going. Whatever you're trying to do, just keep pushing through, keep persevering. And there's a lot of Christ-like people out there that are just great people, and they're going to help you through. One thing that we learned is that, we push through, but there is so many awesome people, so many awesome counselors, our parents, our grandparents that just helped us through and really helped us to achieve this goal. So just keep pushing and look out for the great people in life.
That's great, Tyler.
I just say, go get them. But also, if you do need help, like Blake said, there have been so many people, not just family, but these counselors that have been helped us so much, more than they could have. Even with and the Horrocks engineers, he helped us so much more than we asked. And it was just amazing to see. And so honestly, just put in the hard work, and you can get there, and set a goal, and don't underestimate yourself.
Well, hey, thank you for setting an example for us. And I just hope anyone listening out there, whatever age you are, that you take the example of these boys and just strive for excellence in all that you do, and then give back, which is what you guys are doing. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Everybody, that's New Year's, January 2020, Inspire Excellence. You just got inspired.
You've been listening to the Inspire Excellence podcast. We invite you to find something that inspires you this week. Join us again for our next episode.